If I have pain, I call PT, and especially not the Medicare population. That's not generally how they think. So again, going back to the theme of why we need to work with primary care, we need them to buy in and understand and truly believe that instead of when my patient calls or I see them because they make an appointment for something that can be managed by a PT, that I change my practice pattern from referring for imaging and a specialist to referring to PT. They hold the keys. And the big opportunity for therapists here is we are, even if you were to 50% increase reimbursement to PTs, OTs, et cetera, we are miles more affordable than specialty medical care. So there's all of that opportunity, both, for the therapy, PTs, OTs, STs, the therapy population, and for providers at risk. But this is the disconnect is we don't know that this is not what physicians are thinking about. We are
Right.
not top of mind, and they have long-standing patterns how they manage patients. I'll give you a great 2-second example. Back pain. My daughter's boyfriend, he's a football player in college. He called me, I was on a business trip, calls me panicked that he had severe low back pain after kicking the ball. Oh, I think I strained it. So I did 20-minute telehealth consult at the train station. Clearly a disc derangement. I mean, not a doubt in my mind. I had him, we went through a couple of things. Won't go through my whole PT eval on the phone with him. We did get him on prednisone because it was very acute, and that's a very safe medication. And that was, knowing him, I thought that would be the right thing. And please go get a PT eval, go see the trainer, have them send you to PT, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I saw him when he came home to visit me. I treated him. He's doing much better, but fragile, right? It's a disc herniation, and he's a kicker. And you can imagine, you're not a PT, but the PT is listening. No, he could easily re-herniate. So anyway, he goes to see his primary care doc this weekend. This just happened. He comes home, he goes to see his primary care doc. His primary care, now this is 2 or 3 weeks post-injury, gives him a muscle relaxer and an x-ray. That's the totality of his treatment, primary care, okay? What can they do? We intuitively know this, but that primary care doc, he didn't think PT. He thought muscle relaxer. So he called me and said, I don't know, Dana, they said for me to take this muscle relaxer. And I said, well, not if it's going to make you very sleepy. It's not going to fix anything, and you're not going to be able to study.
Right.
So what you need to do is lumbar stabilization exercises. Go work with the trainer if you can't get therapy organized, at least at school, and at least have them call me. I'm happy to direct them through a plan. But I mean, it's just a classic example. What do? Imaging and medication. They can't treat.
Right.
But you have to bring that to them, to the people paying and the people referring. Docs have practice patterns that they're loath to give up until they have a reason to do it.
It's so interesting. Like we've got 4 young kids, and my wife just was reaching back in the car to do something, tweaked her neck. And now it's been like 3 or 4 days. And I said, well, honey, why don't you just go to the doctor, find a PT or whatever? And anyway, she said something, and she's not even in this industry, right? She said something like, yeah, I'm definitely not going to a doctor. And I thought it was so interesting. She didn't even stop. She didn't say hey, I'm not going to a PT. She just cut me off when I said, why don't you go to a PT or a doctor? I was just trying to be helpful. She's like, well, I know for sure I'm not going to a doctor. And I was like, why? She's like, they're just going to tell me what I already know, that I should probably rest. And maybe depending on how it goes, they'll tell me to go get an x-ray or something like that. But she's like, I need somebody to fix it. And the PT side of it seems like they'll give me some exercises. So it's interesting. Like that would be a perfect example. What you just described is a perfect example of what could have been solved sooner had the, I don't even know if direct access is available up there, but had that particular
I intervened.
patient.
Luckily for him, I intervened. But this is the treatment protocol weeks after by primary care.
Yeah.
They don't have, and we have to think of it this way too, I think. Physicians can do a couple of things. They can give you medication. They can take a couple minutes to try to educate you. They can refer you to someone else. That's about it. They don't have manual skills or anything that they do mechanically. There's exceptions. There's some osteopaths that do some therapy. But again, by and large, physicians are not doing things to correct mechanical dysfunctions, to work on balance or safety or gait training. They don't do that.
If you'd like to learn more about Strata PT and see how our EMR and RCM works, head over to stratapt.com to book a demo.